Hey guys, today's video will be what it was really like working at Ulta Beauty. I'm going to be starting off with the interview process. Now, for me personally, in my location, they had me interviewing in a group setting. So it wasn't that many people. I believe it was like me and two other people, and then like the hiring manager. They will ask you a lot of customer service based questions, such as what would you do if a customer was mean to you? What would you do in this situation? That is going to be majority of the interview questions that they're going to be asking you. They actually hired me within the same day I did the interview. I got the call about 4 hours after I went to the interview. I don't know. It's just so weird because I had actually applied to Ulta the year prior to me working there and I didn't get hired, but I did the interview. If you don't get hired the first time, I would recommend reapplying next year and then try it again because that's exactly what I did and that's how I got hired. Now, I'm going to be talking about what your first day is most likely going to consist of. I know for me, I was basically watching training videos and answering quiz questions for about 6 hours my first day. And then towards the very end, they brought me onto the floor behind the registers and then they had me shadow the other beauty advisors doing transactions. Now, I'm going to be talking about a toxic cash lead I had working at Ulta. This was the meanest coworker I think I have ever had, and I did nothing to her, by the way, for her to bully me and berate me the way that she did. For those that don't know, cash leads are an extension of management. So basically, they're like a mini manager, is basically how I would describe that. This girl was extremely rude to me to the point where it made working at Ulta Beauty miserable, and I genuinely wanted to quit multiple times dealing with her. I genuinely think the biggest reason why she started being mean to me is because during Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, we do donations. And I was one of the associates that got the most donations. I would be pushing about $500 donations every shift. She would only be getting like $20 a shift. And I think she got jealous of that and then started being mean to me because of it. She would always be so condescending and tell me how I should word a sentence during a transaction. So, for the breast cancer donation speech, we would say, "We are raising funds to support breast cancer. Can I count on you to donate $5 or $10 to support your community today?" Now, I did have to reword that sentence a little bit because I do have a speech impediment where I stutter on certain words. I don't know why I do it. It's just something that's always affected me. And management and all the cashiers knew this, so she kind of used that to her advantage to bully me, basically. She basically would embarrass me in front of other coworkers and customers, making fun of my speech impediment and just being really loud and rude about it. I would purposely call off shifts and get shifts covered if I knew this girl was working. That is how much I hated her and how miserable she made me feel, that I would lose out on money on my paycheck, money that I needed just so I didn't have to be around her, because that is how unbearable she made the shifts for me. See, the thing is, I've almost quit on the spot multiple times. Like, she would be so friendly to every other person in the store, but when it came to me, it was always so condescending and rude. One day it got so bad that I went off on her and I reported her to management because I was so sick and tired. I should have told management. I said, if she does not leave me alone, I'm quitting, because it made it that miserable that I just can't work in an environment like that and expect to thrive, if you know what I mean. My managers told me that she had put in her 2 weeks, and y'all, that was like Christmas morning. I almost cried happy tears when I found out she put in her 2 weeks, because that is how mean she was to me. After she left Ulta, she would come in and visit, kind of like, those high schoolers that peaked in high school that comes back to visit their old high school. That's how she was with Ulta. She would come back at least once every few weeks to come visit. She would be so nice to every single person in that store except me. I would either get a rude glare from her or she would nudge into my shoulder. Like, just be so rude to me for absolutely no reason. Like, you are in your 20s and you're acting like you're a teenager. And see, the thing is, I never did anything to her for her to bully me and berate me in my workplace and make it miserable for me. There was no reason why she did that. Literally from the get-go, the day I got hired, she would say hi to the other new hires, but not me. Like, the first time she met me, she was rude to me. Ulta managers will not tell you this during the interview, but under no circumstance can you take off any holiday. It doesn't matter if you have a relative that is passing. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If that is your last holiday with them, they will not let you take it off. And honestly, y'all, this is so weird to me because every other job I've ever had was willing to work with me. As long as I worked Thanksgiving and New Year's, I could have Christmas off. Like, it makes no sense to me. The manager that had hired me, I had asked her how to request time off because I didn't know yet, you know, because I was still very new to the job and every job is different on how you request time off. So she was standing there watching me request time off, and I took off my birthday, which is November 11th, and the week of Christmas because I have family out of state, so I would have to drive out of state 10 hours away to go see my family. So that's why I had to take a week off for Christmas. I remember in about November, right around my birthday, one of the cash leads was saying, oh yeah, they're probably not gonna let anybody take off for Christmas this year. And I was like stressing out. I was wondering why I was not disclosed this information at all during my interview or when I was requesting that time off. Literally zero word about it. So then I went up to my general manager and I asked her about it. She said, no, you absolutely cannot take that time off, which I think is unfair because if that manager was watching me take the time off and didn't say anything to me, I think it would have only been fair for them to give that to me, considering I had booked a plane flight because I didn't end up driving. I had booked a hotel room. I had spent hundreds of dollars on Christmas gifts that I didn't even have to see my family. And they basically screwed me out of almost $1,000 because they did not communicate and let their associates know that you cannot take time off. And the thing is Ulta will hire about 15 seasonal employees during Christmas time, which to me, what is the point in that? If you're not letting your real employees take off for Christmas. So ideally what you had to do was put in your 2 weeks before Christmas and then reapply after the holidays and hope and pray that you got rehired. Or you just had to say, you know what, I'm gonna be verbally abused during Christmas time and hate Christmas this year because customers are so mean during Christmas time. This next section of the video is going to be very lengthy. It is about the Ulta credit card, and if y'all follow me on Instagram, TikTok, my social medias, y'all would know that I actually went viral talking about the Ulta credit card and why you shouldn't sign up. I will insert a little clip of it. But I went crazy viral from that video. And I also even had an article written about me from an Austin newscast company. And I will also insert a picture of that too. But I was basically in that video disclosing why you should not sign up for the Ulta credit card. And a lot of people agreed. Ulta is genuinely by far the worst company to get a credit card from. I would not recommend it to anybody. The reason Ulta employees are forced to push the credit card so much on y'all as the customers is because we literally have our managers breathing down our neck, forcing us to get signups. Like, they will stand behind the registers and watch us, and if you don't say credit card in every single transaction, they will call you out in front of customers and embarrass you. Like, they will literally degrade you in front of other people, which is so unprofessional to do. Usually my store's goal was about 10 credit card signups a day, even during slow season, which is almost impossible to reach unless if it was the holidays. I will say that. And the thing is that I've worked retail at multiple different stores where we had credit cards, and the store that was the hardest to get credit card signups from was Ulta. Every Ulta employee has the numbers, and if you don't hit a certain number goal by a certain time of year, your hours will be cut like that. Ulta is notorious for charging you fees after you pay off the full balance. So y'all, be sure you are checking your credit card balance for Ulta, because I've seen so many people that have been charged a $3 fee after they paid off their full balance and had no balance left. They're charged that $3 fee and they're not notified about it. Nobody tells you about it. So you have to be consistently checking. And if you don't check, you will be charged late fees on top of that. And I've seen people get into debt because of late fees on the Ulta credit card. Now, this is a huge controversy from my TikTok. I mentioned in the video that managers and cash leads will make us associates say, it is not a hard hit to your credit to sign up for the Ulta credit card. when it very much so is. Really, any credit card is going to be a hit to your credit, but store credit cards like Ulta, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, they all work under the same bank, which is the worst bank on the planet to get a credit card with. And see, you know, it's messed up because our managers, like I said, would have us lie to y'all and say that it's not a hard hit to your credit. And that is insane to me because it's like, really, like, you want us to scam people, basically. Like, that is almost how it comes off to me, and it is just so messed up. If you don't use your Ulta credit card enough to Ulta standards, they will shut down your credit card and not even notify you about it, and your credit will tank because of that. So just please make sure, if you have the credit card, you need to be going at the very least once every few weeks, because if you don't use it within a month, I've seen people that have had the credit card within 2 weeks get their card shut down. Here is a new issue that people thought I was lying about on my TikTok, and I don't know how I would be lying about this. But if you sign up for the Ulta credit card and your loyalty was signed up with the old address on it, even if we update it in store, Ulta will go and mail your credit card to the old address. I have had so many complaints of people saying, I never received my credit card, where's my credit card? And now that puts those people at risk with their information, because somebody could be stealing their information from that credit card because they're mailing it to an old address that somebody else could be living at. Ulta has extremely high interest rates for a credit card. I have the Chase credit card personally. The Ulta credit card is almost double the amount of interest that a Chase credit card has. And that is from my actual bank. That is insane that a store credit card is almost double what a real bank is. Ulta employees will use tactics to try to entice you and force you to sign up for the credit card. They will say things such as, it is not a hard hit to your credit. It only takes a few seconds to sign up. You get double the points every time you shop. Like, they will use tactics to try to con you into signing up. See, I felt so bad getting yeses because I knew the consequences of what would happen to those people if they got approved. And even if they get denied, your credit is still affected. Now, I always felt so guilty and so awful, but it's like, at the same time, if I didn't get these signups, I wouldn't have a job. Loyalty is another huge thing at Ulta. I will say though, Ulta has the best loyalty system I have ever seen. If you listen to any advice from this video, go sign up for the loyalty at least, because you earn points for every dollar you spend, and the higher tier up you are, I'm a diamond member, which is the highest tier, obviously, because I used to work there. You get 1.5 points for every dollar you spend. So if you're spending $100, you're getting a bunch of points, and you can save up your points to get a Dyson for free. I've seen people on TikTok getting Dysons for free, all kinds of expensive stuff for free. I've seen people get thousands of dollars taken off their total because they saved up their points. Another thing is, we keep track of all of your transactions when you sign up with your phone number or email. So it makes returns painless and easy, and you don't need the receipt. Now, the bad part of the loyalty is that if you say no to giving us a phone number, not only do we get in trouble, but we would have to get 4 different people to say yes to a loyalty sign up to cancel out your one no. So please just sign up with your phone number. It's not bad like the credit card. I would definitely recommend that. Even just use like a fake email or fake phone number. It literally does not matter as long as you give us some sort of information. Also, if you do say no to giving us a phone number or email and you're bringing in something to return and you don't have the receipt for it, you cannot get the price that you paid back, basically. So we can still technically process the return, but Ulta will give you back the lowest price sold for that item, depending on points, coupons, whatever it was. And it can range from the price you paid for the item all the way down to $0. I've seen people get $0 back for a refund because they didn't have proof of purchase. Now, I'm going to be getting into the customer portion of the video. Now, I have worked 7 other customer service jobs. Ulta has by far the most entitled and rude and evil people I have ever seen come and shop at a store. Like, I have never seen such heartless human beings in my life until I worked at Ulta. And see, I naturally have thick skin dealing with people and idiots because I've worked in customer service. For me to have full-blown anxiety attacks and crying in the bathroom is no excuse to be degrading and treating customer service people like crap because you're being entitled. I need to do a full story time video on all the rude customers I had working at Ulta. Let me know if y'all want to see that video because I would so make it. I had this one lady that screamed at me over not giving her 15 cents. I will say, do not work at Ulta during the holidays. On Christmas Eve, I had 5 people back to back be rude to me, scream at me, throw things at me. Like, I was being so abused on Christmas Eve after my Christmas was already ruined because I couldn't go see my family, because I had to stay here and deal with abuse from customers. The next topic I'm going to be discussing is something called truck shift, and I hated truck shift. I have never hated a shift so much until I worked truck. It's basically an overnight shift where you're stocking the shelves for 5 hours, and they have a position for people who only work those shifts. So those shifts are typically worked by people that I've never met before until I worked truck, because they were never working when we were open, when I would be working. So the first time I got scheduled for truck, it was from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., which isn't terrible hours. But at the time, I didn't drive, so that is a huge inconvenience for me because Ubers aren't that frequent at 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? So it kind of made it difficult and stressful on me to try to get a ride home at 2 in the morning. I went to that shift for the first time. The past associates were so rude to me. They would not talk to me. They all had their own little clique and they were all talking to each other like they were in high school, exactly how high school is. I asked for help because I didn't know what to do. Like, I had never done this before, and that's not really in my job description to do this. So obviously I knew how to stock shelves, but it was so confusing. They had certain sections where you could do certain things and certain things that they would not allow you to do. Like, it was just a whole mess. I would purposely call off just when I work those shifts. The next topic I'm going to be discussing is hours. Ulta will not give you good hours unless you are a full-time employee. They will only give you good hours as a part-timer during the summer when nobody's in school or work, and during the holidays when it's super effing busy. But during slow season from like a January to May and then September to November, you will not be getting much hours. You will be working terrible hours to the point where you can't even afford to get groceries. See, the thing is, you can't even pick up shifts because all these part-timers are not getting hours, so nobody's going to give up their shifts. So, like, you can't even get more hours in any way, shape, or form. Like, they basically set you up to fail almost. This was my in-depth video on what it was really like to work at Ulta Beauty. If you enjoy this type of content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, follow me on all my social medias that will be on the screen, and I will see y'all next week with a new YouTube video. Bye!